Yo, what's up, guys? It's me. It's Junior. Now that's the bottom line, cause Stone Cold said so. No, what's up, guys? It's me. Your host of the most independent source in wrestling, NASCAR, and music history. I am Junior, your owner and operator. I just got done watching the free pay-per-view on TV of TNA Destination X, which was set on July 18th, 2013. Now, Mike Tenay kept calling this pay-per-view, this pay-per-view slash show, pay-per-view quality matches. When it was a pay-per-view, Mike, get over yourself. So, yeah, a lot of action happening backstage, a little bit fewer matches than I expected, and there's an announcement that next week, a match that's usually in the Destination X pay-per-view is having its own separate show next week. So, you'll find out more about that at the end of this review. But I find that interesting that they've taken this match that's usually inside this Destination X pay-per-view when it was on pay-per-view, when it was physically on pay-per-view, and given it its own show. Much better than, TNA's pay-per-views as of late have been much better than WWE's gimmick matches, gimmick pay-per-views, excuse me, like Hell in a Cell and Money in the Bank. Last weekend with Randy Orton winning the WWE title match instead of RVD or CM Punk, it's unexcusable to me. And then with Damien Sandow winning the World Heavyweight Championship match, Money in the Bank contract match. He's an up-and-comer. We don't know much about him. He's still, coming up. But TNA's idea of separating a single match, which is the Ultimate X in this case, and giving it its own separate show next week, is an awesome idea. More pay-per-view matches for free, and I will also be doing a review of that. So if TNA keeps this up and continues to break ground as far as giving good quality matches and good quality shows on free TV, it'll be amazing. I thought Destination X deserved a third hour just because it's a pay-per-view, and there deserve to be more stars shown off. Like, I would love to see Samoa Joe actually wrestle instead of printing and pruning and stuff. I would have loved to see some more of the Bound for Glory guys in there, like I said, Samoa Joe, Magnus. I would love to see Magnus extend his lead, or attempt to extend his lead. But enough of that diatribe. Let's get in straight to the pay-per-view, shall we? Okay. Segment number 1. Bully Ray. At the top of the show, Bully Ray comes out and drops a promo on us. Basically, he pops on Chris Sabin, calling him little boy, how he should have never turned in his title last week after winning it to Hulk Hogan, and he's gonna lose the match. And then after he goes on and on and on and on about Chris Sabin, he calls out his ex-wife. Now, this I find interesting because off camera, Brooke went and got engaged. That's all well and good, and I understand that her and Bully Ray and her thing is the storyline. But if you want to do that, that's all good. keep the fact that you got engaged under wraps until you finish the storyline out. Like, until the writers or Hulk Hogan decide, hey, we need to stop this and, cut this out. But no, you actually decided to bring your actual engagement into the storyline when, we don't want to hear, I don't want to hear about that. That's your personal business. I mean, shoot. So, yeah. So I don't know. Yeah. He continues to pop on Brooke, and basically Hulk Hogan's had enough. He comes out, says he's had enough, and basically Brooke and Hulk Hogan walk away while Bully berates Brooke. And basically the whole gist of that was we're over when I say we're over. Bully said to Brooke, and that's what he continued to repeat. We are over when I say we're over. So, yeah, that was the end of that. Segment number 2, backstage with Bobby Roode and the camera guys asking him about last year's Bound for Glory, where he lost the title to Austin Aries, the first option C, quote unquote, recipient, and he said last year was a fluke. I'm gonna prove everybody wrong this year. So, and he was facing who did Bobby Roode face? Oh, A Double. So it was basically a rematch from last year, except the title wasn't on the line. Yeah. So again, A Double and Bobby Roode put on an excellent match. Austin Aries is one of the most high fly. I like the cruiserweight / X Division guys. This high speed, the RVDs, the Sikaras, the Rey Mysterios, any small guy I love, because I love the speed and everything. Stuff like that. Your Evan Airborns, just to give an example, just to give you a wide array, an example of what I'm talking about. And so yeah, excellent match between Bobby Roode and A Double. Bound for Glory series points was on the line too. Bobby Roode came in this match 3-0. He had not won any points in the Bound for Glory series, and I believe Austin Aries at that point had 17, if I'm not mistaken. 17 or 14. But once again, awesome match, back and forth. There was a point where Bobby Roode caught Austin Aries with a drop kick as Austin Aries was coming in off the top rope. So yeah, awesome. And then it ends up being Austin Aries rolls up Bobby Roode basically in a pin 1, 2, 3. 4-0 now. Bobby Roode has not won anything. I mean anything. I don't have the Bound for Glory series points scale in front of me, but I know it's Magnus with 49 points, and now Austin Aries won 7 more with a pin over Bobby Roode, and now with a 4-0 run. I mean, I don't know if Bobby Roode should even be in the Bound for Glory series. I've never seen, and I've only got real interested in the Bound for Glory series a couple of years ago when Samoa Joe was on top for a while. And then when Jeff Hardy won last year, that was when I really got in the Bound for Glory series. Now, with a talented guy like Magnus on top, it's awesome with 49 points. But that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about now is Bobby Roode. I don't know what he's going to do. Well, again, with a 4-0 run of no wins, 0 points. And after the match, he literally goes berserk, throwing the announcers' chairs, busting water bottles, destroying the announcer table, and everything like that. So, yeah. Disappointing for Bobby Roode because he's good. He's a good wrestler when he wants to be and when he doesn't have an attitude problem. But, quote unquote, heel. And then that was segment 3. Bobby Roode backstage saying it was a fluke in segment 2. Bobby Roode versus A-Double in segment 3, where A-Double won 7 points for the pin. Segment 4 was interesting because Homicide. Now, guys, Hernandez and Chavo Guerrero have been a tag team for a long, long time. We haven't seen Homicide, and originally it was LAX, Homicide and Hernandez, for a long time. And then when Homicide disappeared with an injury, it was Hernandez for a long time. And then when Chavo Guerrero debuted in the company, it's been Chavo Guerrero and Hernandez. But tonight, for the first time in a long time, we saw Homicide of LAX. So the original LAX partners met backstage in segment 4. Homicide, Hernandez, and then popped in Chavo Guerrero. Showed mad respect for Homicide, and I didn't even know he was gonna wrestle Homicide. I didn't even know Homicide was going to wrestle, But it was an awesome thing to see Homicide. He's another one of those fast, quick guys that I love. I just love TNA's roster because a majority of them are fast, quick guys or big, thick guys who know actually how to wrestle. So, yeah. LAX, Homicide comes back. First time in goodness knows how long in segment 4. And then segment 5, Aces and Eights. Mike Knox no vote last week to vote in Kenny Anderson as vice president caused Doc to turn in his patch, basically. Doc was also known as Festus in the WWE, and then I forget his name in the Straight Edge Society with CM Punk and that girl Sarita, Luke Gallows, that's what it is. Luke Gallows and Festus in the WWE. Doc, he's known as in TNA. He turned in his cut in the Aces and Eights. So there is no more Doc in the in Aces and Eights. I don't know if he's still with TNA. He probably is. He's just going from another angle. But for right now, Aces and Eights down in member. I guess to be on equal sides with the clash that's eventually going to come between them and the main event Mafia. But yeah, Doc is out. Segment 6, Homicide versus P.D. Williams versus Sanjay Dutt. X Division qualifying match for next week in Ultimate X. Sanjay Dutt wins. Excellent match. P.D. Williams, Homicide, both tried to do their finishers. P.D. Williams was the closest to trying to do that sick pile driver, that Canadian Destroyer. He was the closest one of doing it, but he never pulled it off. But dang, this match was good. Everybody was everywhere, just on top of everything. So yeah, Sanjay Dutt. To quote Mike Tenay, one of the best X Division wrestlers not to win the X Division title. You could say that a lot about some of the guys who didn't win the WWE title too. Bob Backlund. He should have been champion in the 80s, when he was actually sane. And a bunch of other guys too. But yeah, another guy who should have been champion, who's never been champion, in a different organization, of course, but still, you get my point on that. So, yeah. Apparently there was 3 X Division qualifying matches. Dutt winning your first one. So it's Sanjay Dutt, and then 2 other qualifying matches to find out who fights in Ultimate X next week for the brand new looking X Division title. As tweeted by Dixie Carter, there's a brand new looking style belt, and I haven't seen the picture yet, but everybody's saying it's amazing. So yeah. Dutt winning your first qualifying match. Segment 7, your second X qualifying match. Manic versus Kenny King versus Chavo Guerrero. Manic, formerly known as Suicide, excuse me. Manic, formerly known as Suicide, pulls it out by the skin of his teeth. Really, it's a pin win. Kenny King, obviously amazing, flying all over the ring. Chavo Guerrero was doing his patented Three Amigos to pay tribute to Eddie. That was his main thing, giving two of the Three Amigos to Kenny King, and then again to Manic. And then Manic somehow pins. I think it was Kenny King who got pinned. I'm not sure, but Manic, your second of 3 X Division qualifier match winners, which again goes on to next week, where they face off in the Ultimate X for the new looking title. Your 2 winners are Dutt and Manic up to this point in the pay-per-view. So Dutt and Manic are going to go for the title. Segment number 8, backstage, main event Mafia, ready to fight. They just want to fight. They just want a pure out motherfucking fight. So yeah, that was segment 8. Segment 9, Chris Sabin and Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan giving him a boost backstage. Words of encouragement. That's all that was. Segment 10, main event Mafia wants a fight. They come out to the ring. They don't want a match. They just want a pure freaking fight, dude. And then all of a sudden, Ken Anderson comes on as the new vice president of the Aces and Eights. Ken Anderson comes on and says, "Okay, boys, if you want to come and fight us back here." So they, of course, main event Mafia is not going to turn it down. So they go and Ken Anderson blocks him. It was Rampage Jackson who spotted Ken Anderson. So they run after him. And then Ken Anderson draws him into this storage / locker room or whatever. And they have Devon lock the other members of the main event Mafia in this room while they drag Kurt Angle into this truck. And the truck drives off, and later on you'll understand what happened. But yeah, the truck just drives off with the main event Mafia being held back by Devon Dudley. Or Devon, excuse me. My WWE kind of slipped there. So, excuse me on that. Main event Mafia gets drawn in. Kurt gets taken by the truck. And then your your third X Division qualifying match. Now this one was a little nuts because these two of the three guys I've never heard of before. There's Rubrics versus Rockstar Spud. Now I've heard of Rockstar Spud before because he made his first television appearance a long time back. But yeah, it's a little bit confusing to me. You know, what these other guys are doing. I know everybody who's ever gotten in past the gut check has eventually been released. That's why you have these two weird guys in Rubrics and this Greg or Brian something. I don't know what this last guy's last name was. It was Greg something. Yeah, but anyway, this Greg guy getting the pin over Rockstar Spud. This Rubrics guy was never really in the match. I mean, you saw him a few times, but this Rubrics guy was never really in the match. He was covered in a mask like a lucha libre would be, luchador would be. So yeah, I don't know much to say about these other two guys, this Rubrics and this Greg guy. But Rockstar Spud was pretty good. You know, showing why he won the British Boot Camp thing, television show, to appear on TNA. But yeah, I don't know much to say about the third X Division qualifying match. So your three participants that are going after the X Division title next week on Ultimate X are Sanjay Dutt, Manic, formerly known as Suicide, and this Greg guy. So those are your three wrestlers that qualify for Ultimate X next week for the title match. So yeah, basically that was it on that. And then segment number 12. This is where it got good, guys. Mickey James comes out for a promo, thinking we would hear about last week's ladder match between Gail Kim and that blonde-haired chick. It's escaping my Taylor Terrell. Yeah, Taylor Terrell or something like that. Someone will probably correct me on that. Taylor Terrell and Gail Kim last week. I thought that was what she was gonna plug, but no, she had in real life she actually had a showcase in Nashville. It was actually publicly put on Twitter. Pictures from Dixie Carter herself, and that's what she showed video of. Instead of showing the match from last week, which was a #1 contenders match between Gail Kim and Taylor Terrell. I'm sure I'm saying the second girl's name wrong now. It's escaping me, but she's blonde and she used to be the Knockouts referee before ODB. So yeah. Yeah, Gail Kim, narcissistic as ever, comes out and does that. And then, Mickey James comes out, narcissistic as ever, comes out and does that. And then Gail Kim says, no, I won that match. It's my title. I'm going to come after you in Ultimate X next week. So, yeah. And then she and Mickey get in a brawl, basically. And they can't wait till Ultimate X next week for the where they're gonna have their own Knockouts title match. It's not gonna be an Ultimate X match, but they're gonna have their own Knockouts title match between Gail Kim and Mickey James for the Knockouts title. So yeah, they basically have a brawl, and that was it on that. Anyway, moving on, we have segment number 13. A-Double confronts Chris Sabin backstage and basically says, "Congratulations, kid. I'm proud of you. You know, all this and all that, trying to pump him up." And he said, I'm the reason you're here. Like I'm the litmus paper. I'm the test guy. I test everybody. You're the reason. I'm the reason you're here. That's what he says to Chris Sabin. A double does, and then we move on from that. And Chris Sabin is skeptical of that statement, and then we move on from that, where we see AJ Styles for the first time tonight. I seriously thought he was going to wrestle because he's one of the main guys that started the X Division in the first place, especially in TNA. But he didn't wrestle tonight, so AJ Styles pulls a promo talking about this is TNA's no place for heroes. Speaking of Jeff Hardy and Ultimate X next week on TNA, another pay-per-view, basically. And so yeah, there's no place for heroes. AJ Styles promotes, so yeah, that's his promo. And then main event time, segment number 15. Actually no, A-Double was segment number 13. AJ Styles was segment number 14, and then segment number 15 was the main event, the one we've all been waiting for. Chris Sabin versus Bully Ray. Excellent match. I mean, Bully Ray gets right directly into like this. I mean, he was seriously like this. Gets right directly into Chris Sabin's face and tells him exactly what he's gonna do to him, and he goes for it. I mean, Chris Sabin does not back down one iota. Bully Ray goes to his side of the ring, and thinking Chris Sabin is so intimidated that he stayed on that side of the ring. Chris Sabin follows him to Bully's side of the ring and stares him right back down, and says he's not afraid of him. And the match starts by Bully Ray pushing Chris Sabin backwards, and he does a backflip onto his feet. And the whole entire match, he did as he promised. The whole entire match, basically, he concentrated on Chris Sabin's legs. Speaking of Bully Ray, to the point where he actually pulls down both boots. He actually undoes every protective measure that Chris Sabin has on his knees. He blew both his knees out, and Bully Ray goes after both protective measures and pulls both boots down and attacks the legs for a good majority of the match. And then to end the match, basically, Aces and Eights gets involved as were expected. Bully Ray thought Aces and Eights had an edge because Kurt Angle was driven away in the truck, and just before the main event, here comes the same black truck, but Kurt Angle is driving. So he apparently beat down his captor and drove back to the arena just before the main event. So anyway, all members of the main event Mafia are now out there looking after Chris Sabin, and they're all cheering for Chris Sabin. And after several minutes of Bully Ray working on the right and left legs of Chris Sabin, it basically boils down to Aces and Eights has a fight. Before that, though, Ken Anderson grabs the ring bell again, the ball-peen hammer, and tosses it into Bully Ray, and then that causes Magnus to jump in the ring, seeing what Ken Anderson did, and attack Bully Ray, to get the hammer, and all hell breaks loose. Main Event Mafia pulls away the aces and eights and bites them all the way back to the locker room, and basically the the ball peen hammer is in the ring, and Chris Sabin, with the referee laying flat on his stomach on this side of the other side of the ring, basically picks it up, and as Bully Ray is going for a power bomb, Chris Sabin knocks Chris Sabin's over Bully Ray's head, basically. And basically, Chris Sabin takes the hammer and cracks Bully Ray's skull, basically. And that's how he falls into the pin. 1, 2, 3. Chris Sabin is now your new world heavyweight champion. I'm sure Bully Ray will have something to say at Ultimate X next week. Once again, another pay-per-view. So Ultimate X was supposed to be inside this pay-per-view, but they decided, TNA, I guess a way to copy WWE in just a little bit. Again, the athleticism in these pay-per-views are vastly different. If you're comparing WWE and TNA, TNA's athleticism, as far as the X Division goes, and as far as any wrestler goes in TNA, it's a lot better than WWE right now. Not saying that there aren't good wrestlers, because you got Daniel Bryan, you got CM Punk, excellent wrestlers in WWE right now. But just as far in terms of speed, in terms of just quickness, on the fly thinking, TNA has got that little bit of edge, just a little bit. Once again, not a knock on WWE, but as far as that little bit of edge, TNA has got it right now with the X Division, and it showed in tonight's pay-per-view. So, Chris Sabin is your new World Heavyweight Champion. Congratulations to Chris Sabin. Now, we'll have to see what happens next week in Ultimate X, another pay-per-view. The card has not been announced. And another mysterious thing, Taz was not there. He did not show up in any of the Aces and Eights promos backstage. He did not show up anywhere on the pay-per-view. So that leads me to think that he either was really caught up in something, or he said something he shouldn't, or something to where he could not make it to the table. Jeremy Borash actually covered for Taz, and the Professor Mike Tenay called the match. Called the show, actually. So, I don't know what happened to Taz. Congratulations to Chris Sabin. And, Ultimate X is going to be an excellent pay-per-view. 2 pay-per-views in 2 weeks. This is excellent. Again, I wish this pay-per-view was an hour later. Had an extended hour to add it onto it, because it was so good. I give it an 8, a solid 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10. Because of matches like Bully Ray versus Chris Sabin, matches like what was the second match? Matches like Homicide versus P.D. Williams and Sanjay Dutt. I give it a solid 8 out of 10 stars. So yeah, that's your X Division X Division TNA pay-per-view review. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I encourage you to rate, give it a thumbs up if you like it, thumbs down if you don't. Doesn't affect me either way. Comment in the comment section below, or leave me a message on YouTube, or you can tweet me at CA Junior 1985 Junior. just remember to capitalize the first C, first letter of my Twitter handle. So that's capital C, lowercase everything else. Once again, that's capital C A. That's capital C, lowercase a, Junior, 1985 Junior. So yeah, if you want to tweet me there, tweet me there. And a third time, CA Junior 1985 Junior. Make sure to capitalize the first letter once again, only. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. TNA Destination X was awesome. Congratulations to Chris Sabin. Excellent stuff. So this has been your source, your independent source for wrestling, NASCAR, and music news. Deuces. Peace. Thank you guys for watching very, very much. And remember, this is Stone Cold Steve Austin made this phrase very, very popular. That's the bottom line because Stone Cold said so. Bye.